Perfection looks beautiful from a distance, presenting an image of flawless execution. But what people often don't see is the profound anxiety that fuels it, the deep-seated fear of not being enough. But what people often don't see, what remains hidden beneath that polished surface, is the profound anxiety that fuels it, the deep-seated fear of not being enough, of falling short. I used to believe that perfection was the key to success, convinced that if I worked harder and never made mistakes, I would achieve security and peace. However, I slowly realized that perfection didn't grant me control. Instead, it led me down a path of utter exhaustion and constant strain. Perfectionism often begins its insidious grip quite early in life, subtly shaping our behaviors and beliefs from a young age. For many, it's rooted in a primal need for survival, an unconscious effort to earn approval or find safety by striving to be perceived as the good one. I didn't realize how profoundly I had carried that relentless pursuit of flawlessness into my adult life and professional career. In corporate life, perfectionism often receives rewards until its true cost becomes painfully apparent. I was praised for being detail-oriented, which felt good externally, but internally, I was burning out from constantly trying to meet impossible standards. The raw truth is that perfectionism isn't about high standards. It's fundamentally about fear, a pervasive fear of judgment, failure, and losing control. It's a quiet, insidious cage, cleverly disguised as ambition, trapping us in a cycle of endless striving and self-doubt. It took me years to realize that this relentless pursuit of perfection was costing me my inner peace and overall well-being. I found myself unable to truly relax, constantly on edge, and struggled immensely with delegating tasks, always feeling the need to rewrite, recheck, and rethink everything myself. Then, one difficult morning, I opened my laptop, ready to work, but found myself completely unable to type. My mind simply went blank. This wasn't laziness. It was the profound and debilitating burnout that resulted from my constant, exhausting efforts to be absolutely flawless. That pivotal moment was when I finally realized a profound truth. Perfection isn't the opposite of failure at all. In fact, it is failure itself, a cunning failure cleverly disguised as an illusion of control, holding us back from true progress. Because while I was meticulously polishing every detail, others were actively progressing, moving forward, and achieving new milestones. The very first step towards my recovery was granting myself a crucial permission to simply be human, to embrace making mistakes, and to learn openly from them. Suddenly, the feeling of something being done began to feel infinitely better and more satisfying than the elusive, never-ending pursuit of perfect. Nature itself offers profound lessons, as seen in the resilience of bamboo. It bends gracefully with the wind, adapts, and yet still rises incredibly strong. That inherent flexibility is its true strength, and I realized with clarity that I needed to learn to live my own life with more of that adaptable, resilient spirit, much like the bamboo. Perfectionism thrives on external validation, constantly seeking approval from others to feel worthy and complete. I had to consciously learn that my true value isn't derived from flawless performance, but rather from my authenticity, my genuine self, and my consistent effort. True success, I discovered, isn't about maintaining a perfect record or achieving an unblemished history of accomplishments. Instead, it's about cultivating resilience in the face of challenges, finding balance in all aspects of life, and experiencing genuine joy in the journey. It's about being truly proud of what you have built and created, even if it isn't absolutely flawless or without its imperfections. I sincerely wish I had known earlier that relentlessly chasing perfection often blinds you completely from the invaluable opportunities for true growth and evolution. Every single mistake I was so desperately afraid of making was, in reality, an open invitation to learn, to adapt, and to profoundly evolve into a better version of myself. Now, I live my life by a simple yet powerful philosophy. If something is approximately 80% right, then it's ready to be released into the world. The remaining 20% will naturally come from the process of learning and adapting, rather than from endless overthinking and unnecessary delays. When I finally stopped needing everything in my life to be absolutely perfect, I literally started to breathe again, feeling a profound sense of relief wash over me. Life became noticeably lighter, not necessarily easier in its challenges, but undeniably freer in its experience and flow. Ancient Eastern wisdom, particularly in Tao philosophy, beautifully states, "The perfect is the enemy of the real." This profound statement reminds us that real life is inherently fluid, beautifully imperfect, and vibrantly alive in its natural state. If you find yourself perpetually stuck in a cycle of rewriting, redoing, or endlessly rethinking every single detail, I urge you to simply stop. The world doesn't truly need your perfect, polished version. What it genuinely needs, and what will truly resonate, is your authentic, real one. Next time you hesitate to share something, ask yourself, what's the absolute worst that could happen if it's not perfectly flawless? You'll likely discover, upon honest reflection, that the answer isn't nearly as scary or catastrophic as your perfectionist mind might initially suggest. I am profoundly grateful for all the challenging yet invaluable lessons that perfectionism ultimately taught me throughout my journey. And even more so, I am grateful for the deep, abiding peace that finally settled within me after I consciously made the choice to let it go. Sometimes, the hardest habits to break are precisely the ones that once earned us the most praise and external validation. Perfection used to be my impenetrable armor, my shield against the world's judgments and my own insecurities. Now, it serves as a powerful reminder, a constant whisper that true strength comes not from striving to be flawlessly perfect, but from the courage and daring to simply be real, authentic, and wonderfully human.